Well, welcome to my channel, everybody. My name is Rainer, and this is Rainier Books. There has been a short pause in this channel. For 10 days or so I've posted nothing, and I know this is not good, but it took me quite a while to finish the book, the latest book that I read, only the 33rd this year. So today I'm going to give you a review of a book called Endling by Maria Reva. Endling was published in the summer of 2025. I have the American edition. I like the cover much better than I like the British cover, which is kind of rare because usually I think that British covers are better than American, but this one actually proved me wrong. Endling by Maria Reva. Maria Reva is an author from Canada. She was born in Ukraine, and after some years there, her family emigrated long ago to Canada, to British Columbia, to Vancouver, where she is living today, I believe. And in 2020, she published a collection of short stories by the title of Good Citizens Need Not Fear, which is available from Vintage Books as a paperback. And in this book, she has described the lives of people living in a Soviet-built house in Ukraine. So what is Endling about, and actually what means the word Endling? I don't know if everybody knows that, even if you have English as your first language. The term Endling is quite new, and it came up in the early 2000s, if I researched that right, in the connection of species, of animals, of plants that are dying out. And the last person, the last living animal, the last living insect, the last living plant of a kind of a species is called an endling because it ends after this creature has passed. I give very, very rarely 5 stars, but this truly was to me a 5-star novel. It was a pleasure to read this book. It was amazing, it was surprising, it was funny, it was sad, and it had everything that a book needs to be a Rainier book. And I don't understand, dear Booker Jury, why you did not let this book go to the shortlist of the Booker Prize. And to my friends in Canada, Gillard Jury, I don't understand at all why this book is not even on your long list, because this is probably the best Canadian book of the year, and this could have easily won the Booker Prize if the jury would be smarter. Oh yeah, I'm saying that. It's a joke, okay? This book is about mail order brides. Mail order brides. Have you heard about mail order brides? I had to research a little bit to tell a little bit about mail order brides. We all have heard about these poor women or good women or lucky women, I don't know. Many of them end up poor, some of them end up rich, and well, mail order brides came already in the 19th century. I didn't know that. In the 19th century, there were gold diggers who went to the very west of the United States, to California, to Oregon, to Washington State, and they were digging gold. They were living in very hard conditions, and they were actually posting AdWords from time to time in newspapers in Europe, where they all came from, more or less, and they were looking for brides to come to the United States, to come to the West and live their lives with them. And these were the first mail order brides. But then in the 20th century, especially connected to the Vietnam War, there was a new wave of mail order brides, connected also to the time of the 1950s and 1960s, especially the 60s, when feminism was getting more and more prevalent in the West, and when many men thought that they want traditional women, women who know their role, women who love to cook, who love to foster up children. Actually, the same kind of women that some American politicians right now want to be back, to make women more family orientated. They should look feminine, and that's why some men looked to the east, to the very east, to the Philippines, to Thailand, and to Vietnam and Cambodia to find real women there and to order them. They had catalogs where you could look for mail order brides, and this was always a business that I never liked, and many people were against it and criticized it with all right, because it is a class thing. It's a thing of power, of patriarchal power. Men who earned much more money, who were in a much better economic situation, they ordered brides, they ordered younger women, very often much younger women than they themselves are, to come to them, to live their lives with them in the United States, in Germany, in all the developed countries in the West. In the 1990s, when the Soviet Union fell down, suddenly Russian and Ukrainian women became very popular because they were regarded as beautiful, they were regarded as feminine and more feminine than Western women. Well, the Ukraine girls really knock me out, they leave the West behind. And Moscow girls make me sing and shout, the JoJo's always on my mind. Women from Russia and Ukraine got more and more popular in the 1990s and also in the 2000s and until now. And this is something that the book Endling is dealing with. Because we have the business of mail order brides, of marriage agencies here in the year of 2022. We are in 2022, shortly before Russia is launching the biggest attack yet, the big invasion on Ukraine, killing thousands of people, killing civilians, killing pregnant women, destroying hospitals, schools, kindergartens, kidnapping thousands of Ukrainian children, and so on and so forth, and committing genocidal crimes. So we have a lot of bachelors who are traveling within Ukraine at this time in the novel, and they are looking for Ukrainian women, for Ukrainian brides. And one of them is Pasha, a young Canadian man born in Ukraine, but fostered in Canada. He's going back to his roots and he wants to find a Ukrainian woman. So Pasha is one of the guys who's there. There's a very beautiful 18-year-old girl named Nastya, or Anastasia, and she is 18 years old. She is dating these older foreign guys, but not to find a husband. She and her sister, Saul, who is a translator, they want to find their mother who has disappeared 8 months ago. We also have another woman working in that marriage business. Her name is Yeva, or Eva, or Yeva in Ukrainian. And Yeva is a very special person. She is asexual. She's also in the marriage business not to find a husband, but to make money. Not to make money for her own gains, for her own luxury, but she wants to make money to sort of finance her trailer that she has and also her business with snails. And now comes the next topic. We have the marriage agencies, we have snails. This is also a novel about snails, because did you know, I didn't know that we have around the world between 30 and 40,000 different species of snails. I did not know that. And that many of these snail species are threatened from or by extinction. So Yeva is a snail woman. She and a guy who lives in Hawaii, they have contact on the internet, they are trying to preserve snail species that are endangered. So Yeva has this trailer, she has a laboratory. So this is the setup. We have mail order brides, we have snails, we have Yeva, we have Nastya, we have Pasha, we have Saul. And we have Masha. Masha is a woman. And remember that Masha is a nickname for Maria. And remember also that Maria is the name of the author. So Masha is a woman. She's in Canada, as is Maria, the author. But Masha in Canada, who happens to be in Vancouver where the author is living, Masha is running this mail order bride agency in Ukraine. So she's working towards her old country, towards Ukraine, and trying to sort of get Ukrainian women to their wonderful and beautiful and, first of all, rich, Western, older husbands. How does all this fit together? And then, as you know, on February the 24th in 2022, Russia starts its big and huge invasion. What Nastya and Sol are planning, because they want to find their own mother who has disappeared 8 months ago. The mother is an activist. She was always against the mail order bride system and business and always tried to sort of expose it. She also showed her naked breasts to Vladimir Putin many, many years ago. So she's a very, very famous activist and she has disappeared. And what Nastya and Sol are now trying to do is they want to show their mom that they are also doing something in order to get her back. They think that she's hiding somewhere. And what they want to do is they want to kidnap 100 bachelors and force them to make videos and to expose the mail order bride business that is in Ukraine. But then they need a car. They need a car to put these hostages in. And they find Yeva, and they find Yeva's trailer, the snail trailer. So they kidnap some guys, not 100, but 13, and put these 13 men into into Reva's trailer. And then the war starts and things get very, 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 dangerous and sad. But this is also a funny novel. It always confronts you with funny things, with things that you don't expect, with twists and turns. The structure is extremely entertaining. It is not the normal structure of a novel. Because here, after 130 pages in the book, it has like 340, I believe. After 130 pages, it says suddenly end. And the novel is over. But then you have the acknowledgements, you have something about the author, something about the type that it was setting, and then you have 200 more pages, and I won't tell you what happens there. But the novel goes on, and that's not a spoiler, that's just the way it is, that's just the way it goes. Reva is playing with fiction, with metafiction, with different kinds of levels in which she is telling her story. Suddenly she becomes herself a part of the story. There's a grandfather in the Ukrainian city of Kherson, and this is supposed to be Masha's grandfather, or is it Nastya's and Saul's grandfather, or is it Maria Reva's grandfather in Kherson? You don't know, and we don't know. And Reva surprises us with her reflections, and this is also a novel that punches you in the gut because the war is not funny, and everybody knows it. War is cruel and war is horrible, and this war has to end. It could end on the minute Vladimir Putin says, okay, I withdraw all my troops from Ukraine and give Ukraine back to Ukraine. Please do that, Mr. Putin. Everything else, the war could be ended today if the dictator in the Kremlin would say so. But what happens in this novel is people are dying in this novel, people are dying in the war. This is a funny novel, this is a hilarious novel, this is a weird novel, this is a beautiful novel. It's one of the best novels that I have read this year, probably the best, I would say so far, but I have only read 33 books. Come on. But she depicts strange scenes. It's a strange scene in the Ukrainian field close to the city of Kherson in the second part of the novel. I won't tell you what it's about, but what she's creating there, Maria Reva, the author, is she's building like a huge painting. I was reminded of those paintings from the Middle Ages when Rembrandt and Bruegel, Van Bosch, when these great painters painted large scenes that could be a whole novel where so many things are happening in that field at the same time. And then I'm spoiling the story. Come on, don't do it. Don't spoil the story here to your viewers. Back to the novel of Maria Reva, Endling. Endling has been sold to many languages already. It is a beautiful book about women, it's a feminist novel in a sense that we have these three women, Reva, Nastya, and Saul, but also the mother who's an activist, also Masha, the character who might be the author, who's not the author, who might be the author. And these women who are in a special situation, they are mail order brides, 3 of them at least, working in that business where men are in a much more powerful situation. You have this power situation between men and women. You have the situation of money in the West and less money in a country like Ukraine. And that's why women want to get out of that economic situation. It's not good. I don't like it. You have this kind of imbalance between the sexes, between economic status. And you also have the war that is described as something extremely absurd. It's also absurd. You have the snails, a beautiful love story about snails, about endlings, and you also can ask yourself, are only the snail species endlings? Because what Vladimir Putin wants, what the Russians want, is that even Ukraine and the language and its culture and its status as a country is an endling. They want to sort of make it Russian, to Russify Ukraine. And this is the crime that they are committing each and every day and each and every second. And this is so great. This book is really overwhelming. I enjoyed reading it. I loved reading it. And I have to bring it back to the library because there are more people who want to read it. So I will go to the library after I shut this video. I hope to see you soon in another video on this channel. As always, please subscribe to the channel. Leave a comment if you hated Endling, if you loved Endling. Tell me what you thought about Endling. I just loved it. And I see you soon in another one. Have a great day and see you later. Bye-bye.